In this video, I want to take a look at defense and why we suck at it. And I say we because I really can't get away with saying I'm like the pro here, because I couldn't be further away from being good at defense. So yeah, I am pretty garbage. And if you've seen my videos, I'm not a role model basically. However, I do like taking the outside look. I do like analyzing replays. I have gone into this, and I've actually seen quite a few diamonds, so quite a few plats, quite a few champs. I'm not going to say grand champ because I'm not grand champ. Doing the same thing constantly when it comes to our first point of the video, which is the thing we all love to say but not actually do properly. Alright, let's just be serious now. So let's leave the ball around here and visually demonstrate how to actually position in a defense scenario. So let's say your opponent is, if you just cope with me here, has the ball here, right, and is dribbling towards your own goal, which is over there. So let's be a defender now. Let's be you, basically. Now, ideally, you wouldn't be like here, right, if he's coming from that way, because obviously, let's just lay down the fundamentals of shadow defense, because you need to understand this. You can't shadow defend, first of all, from the opposite side that effectively, because if the ball gets shot over you, like here, which is also happening to be your open corner over there, you will get just sniped, basically. I mean, the ball will get flicked so easily over you. So of course, as a fundamental, you have to be usually kind of forcing the opponent inside, like here, goal side, and when the time is right, you challenge. That's the fundamental down. The thing is though, with shadow defense, a lot of people think shadow defense is the mirroring of your opponent. It's the kind of copying of his move and then pouncing when he kind of flicks, you know, the very basic idea. That's not really the case. If that was the case, then believe me, shadow defense would be for silvers and bronzes, but there's a reason why they can't do that. It's because they can't actually predict or be proactive. And that's the whole point of shadow defense, being proactive. It's not jumping when your opponent will jump. Sometimes you can fake challenge. Sometimes you can, you know, late challenge, etc. A common error I notice, especially in shadow defense, a lot of people seem to just, even like, if you're in a straight line especially, this is the worst. I think the worst kind of position to be in, a straight line. You wouldn't be angled, but oh well. If he's about to flick it, but you're just, you know, you're mirroring him. You're always going to mirror him at delayed, like, how do I say it? So you're basically going to try mimic him, but you're never going to be him, right? You'll be always like at least a millisecond delayed. So obviously when the flick comes, very, very likely that you're just going to get absolutely destroyed. If the guy's a good, you know, good flickster, you could say, if that's a good term. So, and actually that's the big mistake that everyone does. It's the idea that you can just be reactive, you know, you can get to the ball in time. That's not true. And the higher up you go, you'll realize that. It may not seem like that, what I'm saying to you right now, because you might be getting away with just delaying your challenge sometimes, or just reacting to everything. But believe me, when you get up to champ or grand champ, that's going to change, and that kind of will kill your game actually, a lot of the time. So let's stop pinching, put it back here. So, step number one, to not misinterpreting shadow defense and not being very silly when it comes to shadow defense. Be a little proactive. Sometimes just before, like if you can read the flick, so if you can see your opponent, for example, extending the car, most of the time, like 90% of the time, he's not going to fake, because let's be honest, he's not a grand champ or he's not a mechanical boss. So, you know, you have to understand your opponents. Of course, when you get up to SSL, you know, it's different stuff. They can fake musty you, all sorts of things. But we are as a champ 1 now. Maybe you're, don't know, you're a C2 or a bronze, who knows? But as a fundamental, read the first motion and not the second one. That, for me, is very key. It's about being kind of, well, actually no, it's about predicting your opponent rather than just mirroring, if you know what I mean. That's hard to put into like action as well, so I can't really just bring a friend on and just let him flick me a million times. It's really going to come with practice, and it's only going to come with a good training routine. And there are going to be some links, potentially training packs I'll recommend. But with the largest part of the video out the way now, I probably want to focus now on the next topic, which is I'm sure we all hate the backboard in some way. I mean, I do, I hate it. But as a very key tip, we know that if you're going to clear the ball, so let's just take possession. If you hit it off here, very simply, physics will bring it more to the inside, with more power, of course. I mean, if you hit it with more, you know, the way I just hit it right now, it'll clear it properly. But the more inside you hit it, the inside, the backboard that is, I'm going to count the whole wall basically as a backboard, just to cover the section. It'll get cleared usually back into your own area, like in here. From there, basically. And that's quite a bad thing. A very quick startup tip would be obviously aim for the outside of the wall / backboard when you're going to clear. Just keep that in mind always, because I feel like a lot of people just aimlessly batter the ball like to the side, like here in the inside, and then get frustrated when they center it to their opponent. That's how it works. That's how physics works, and you're gonna have to deal with it. And believe me, I found out the hard way, constantly just smashing the ball off the backboard, and then it comes back off the opponent and it's a goal. So how do we prevent that? Well, first of all, you need to know a few key concepts of the backboard. Number one, you really don't want to be messing around this area. That's why I always say do not try, as a rule of thumb, when you just try drive the ball here or you don't really make a jump for it, a lot of the times they'll miss you. I know you've had those moments where you just narrowly miss the ball at an angle. Please, for the sake of your team or for the sake of yourself, just jump for it when you're on the wall. When you're on that specific part of the backboard, especially in the corners, jump for it and flick it away. There's no point, even if you have boost and you just try to do a light touch like that, it's not going to be hard enough. Please flick it away. Always flick it away. Start using the backboard properly and stop being very soft on it, because the softer you are on that backboard, the harder your opponents will come back and, well, they'll smash the ball into your own net. So, as I said, backboard, do not be messing around on these curves or these corners. I recommend you always flip the ball out of those corners unless you have master ball control. Now off your own backboard though, it's a different story. Here, you never want to be positioned straight. That's just a key tip that's very basic to understand why, but you know, you want to be coming in always from the side as possible actually. Don't be coming down at an angle unless of course necessary to recover, which kind of allows you to monitor. Just do that for a while. Get a sense of your backboard. Then you'll see what I mean, just having that comfortable position where the ball will, you know. So here for example, boom. It's a very easy drill actually, just passing the ball onto the backboard and, you know, clearing it. I like that drill, and it's also part of the reason why I've improved on the backboard quite a lot. It's a very quick, I think, section of the video, but I feel like I need to mention it because no one really speaks about the backboard enough. I see that people just neglect it. And no, I mean, the backboard is so crucial. It's so crucial that it's your only real weapon in defense, because the rest is all down to you. As an outside weapon, you're going to want the backboard on your side. I mean, look at that. You can use the backboard to your advantage in every scenario, whether it's for defense or offense. And finally, the moment we've been waiting for, the final point. How are you supposed to know where you lack in defensive capability, even in attack and everything, if you're not looking at your scenarios that have basically, you know, costed you some very stupid goals? So when there's a match that's been really frustrating or really, really bad, rather than just move on swiftly and just, you know, the mentality of just, okay, we can move on next game, actually go back and look at that game in the replay. It'll give you a good meaningful break from the game itself, from Rocket League, so you don't jump back into a game. You might even go on a losing streak, and it also gives you the ability to just see and ponder very, very quickly, where did I go wrong, in which area. And I kind of like doing this as well. Like, let me just exit real quick and I'll find a replay. For example, you go into replays and you're gonna go, obviously, you know, not director, you're gonna go for player view. I'll go for my other account here, and you're gonna look, and you're not just gonna see your mistakes and say, okay, I made a mistake, that's it, I'll note it down. That's not gonna get you anywhere. What you're supposed to do when you're analyzing, first of all, take a mental note of each section, key section of the replay. So say that, why didn't I position myself there? Remember that. Those scenarios will come in very handy for real games. So when you remember and have those mental notes that give you a sense of familiarity, and what I mean by that is, let's say you're in another game and you have a similar situation, you'll remember that mental note from the replay. You'll say, okay, hold on, when I did this, I ended up making that really stupid mistake. For example, in defense, you forgot to clear off your own backward. Instead, you kind of tried driving out, and you got absolutely dunked on. So, as a rule, once again, take mental notes during your analysis and please look back on your poor games. There's no reason to not look back on your poor games unless you're bronze 1 and you've just started Rocket League. But if you're a plat or a diamond and above, please look at your games. They're very meaningful and they're a good source of educating yourself. And now I'd say it'd be a nice time to wrap up the video. I think this could be more of a think piece rather than just a training guide or some sort of, some crazy, oh, this is how you get good at the game, this is a secret. There's no secret, but there are some points we can make. And I'm sure there's a different viewpoint that might have helped you in this video, such as the mental notes. Just take mental notes, remember those scenarios and replays. Also, please use that backboard. Those are probably the 2 key points I'd love to make to everyone. Use that backboard really, really carefully. Do not underestimate it, but do not also overestimate its ability. Otherwise, it'll just softly bounce into your opponent and into a very, very easy goal. And we'll wrap it up there. Hopefully you found something useful in this video. Maybe I gave you a different viewpoint, which I'd be glad to do. Very glad to do. And if you disagree with any of this, please let me know. Give me constructive criticism. I'd love to have a conversation, whether it's a good one or a bad one. I do not mind. I'm here for any opinions, but most importantly, have a good one, and I'll see you next time.